Hello. Hi, Sunita. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, recovering
Uh-huh.
much better now. So, yeah, feeling good.
Good to hear that. And I don't know why, whenever I meet you, I always have butterflies in my stomach.
Oh my God. Well, but whenever I scroll through YouTube, at times I hardly get times, but when I see your
Uh-huh.
face, it always makes me so happy. And I'm like, that yesterday I was so stunned that I just started a
Mm-hmm.
session with somebody named Sunita Rawat, and I was just thinking of you in the afternoon, and then you messaged at
Mm-hmm.
night. So I was like, okay, we have some connection definitely.
Right, right. What do we call that? Telepathy?
Telepathy. Yeah.
Telepathy. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, all right, all right.
All
Okay. So
right.
actually, I was watching your vlog, in which you went to Mahabaleshwar, right? And then I
Yes.
saw your kittens as well. They are so cute.
Hmm.
So I thought of
Yes.
messaging you. And it's been
They are
so
the new
long that
addition
we
in the
haven't met.
family.
Right, right. They're seriously so cute. Is it really easy to manage three kittens? Like I can think of one,
Hmm.
but three?
Hmm. So it wasn't voluntary. First of all, it's a
Mm-hmm.
very fun story. Her When we shifted to the new house, their mom used to come to our place, and my brother used to give her food and just play with her sometimes outside.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to think that it's a male cat. Okay, so every time I called her a she, my brother would scold me. Hey, it's not a she, it's a he. Okay, and then one fine
Okay.
day, I'm taking a class one morning in November, and he comes down and he's like, can you come with me for like 2 minutes? Put your class on hold for 2 minutes and come up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went, and then he's showing me that the cat had brought in a kitten or something like that. It was like this tiny, onto the balcony. Before that, she never came into the house. Okay. And that's the day we realized that it was a female. She was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and she came with one kitten first. After that, she came back with another two. And since that day in November, these three and also the mother stayed with us.
Mm-hmm.
After that, the mother got pregnant again and she left. She forgot the first three. And since then, these three are with us. So,
Okay.
difficulty level,
That's
I cannot
interesting.
really, tell you, because
Mm-hmm.
for us right now, for me and my husband, they have become a part of the family. So,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm taking a class or maybe I'm working on something, they would just come and sit beside me. They will not disturb.
Right.
Sometimes when they're very
Mm-hmm.
playful, they will come onto the laptop and hop around. But
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, they're quite self-sufficient. So nothing that we need to do much. They do their
Mm-hmm.
own, grooming and everything they take care of. It's just that give them
Mm-hmm.
food thrice a day and just play with them a little bit. That's it.
Right, but that's so great about you that you have adored them, adopted them very well, and taking care of them too. Others might have chased them away. Like if I were in your place, I would have chased them away. Like because I'm not very fond of pets, that's why. But I really
I was
appreciate you for
never.
this.
Trust me, I was the last person on this earth to be
Mm-hmm.
fond of pets. I am still scared of big dogs. But somehow, these three by chance came into our life, and then something changed, something changed in me. And I have felt that change as a person. I have felt that change in my
Mm-hmm.
my own self. And now it feels that, now I can't relate to that person that I was up until a few
Mm-hmm.
years ago, that how was I so scared of pets and how was I so scared
Mm-hmm.
of animals. It's now like that, so it's very
Right.
contrasting, I would say, for me as a person.
Hmm. It could be because you've experienced it yourself, and their faces
Yeah,
are so cute that you can't resist having them.
I know. Yeah, sometimes when they like when they go off to sleep and I'm sitting right beside them, they will make eye contact and they will start staring at
Mm-hmm.
you for so long, and then you feel that, okay, what can be more innocent and more pure in this world than this,
Right,
so
right.
yeah, it's a different kind of a feeling, and by God's grace we are
Mm-hmm.
enjoying it.
Great, great. Like I too can love pets with this from that distance, but not
Yeah.
very near.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You tell me, how
Okay.
are things with you? How are the kids?
They are doing well these days. Their holidays are going on, so it's a disaster for me. I must say, I'm admitting it. It's a disaster. It's a chaos all around, and then there are many guests coming in. So your schedule is going to get completely haywire, right? That happens, but it's a matter of some days or a month, not some days,
Yeah.
but a month. But after that, everything will fall into place again.
Right, right. So for me
Mhm.
also last month was absolutely haywire because I couldn't do anything. I was hardly there on YouTube. I couldn't take my classes as well because with the plaster it was really difficult. I initially thought it's going to be easy and I can focus on a lot of stuff and I can
Mhm.
get a lot of stuff done because I'm not moving around and I'll not have to do anything in the home. But it was so difficult and it was mentally so draining. I couldn't really do anything last month.
Mhm.
Plus my kittens got sick, so we had to be really involved with them for about 2 3 weeks. So it was really difficult last month. But then I
Mhm.
feel life is all about ups and downs and things that are changing and
Right.
you have to adapt, so it's okay. Make the most out of everything that you are getting your way.
Definitely, that's inspiring. And you've started your new venture as well, that online store, jewelry related.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's really interesting. I have seen some of your reels, and those jewelries were really pretty. But I'm not fond
Oh,
of
sweet.
those, that's why I haven't ordered. But I really like watching it just.
How nice. Thank you. Thank you so
Uh-huh.
much. Well, this was on the cards for a very long time. I always wanted to do something, but then now I have come to that mindset where I feel that, we keep procrastinating things a lot and we think that, okay, after a few years. But I think once you put your hands into it and you make your hands dirty with it, things, fall into
Mm-hmm.
place one after the other. So although it's a lot
Right.
of juggling, but it's okay. We'll manage. Let's see.
At least you try and you don't have any regrets in life, right?
That's definitely there.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is definitely there.
Okay, great. So for today's session, I have a topic which I get from my subscribers a lot of times. Like they ask this question that they struggle a lot with past tenses.
Hmm.
So, like before starting this, I want to know your backstory. Have you also struggled the way we had struggled when we were beginner with past tenses mainly? Because present and future is a bit simple, but past tenses are quite confusing.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very relevant question that you have taken up for today's session. But before I get to that, I definitely want to tell you because I don't get to meet you a lot. So I want to take this time to, first of all, tell you that I am so happy and I'm so proud to see you and the way you are putting in your effort and your dedication to the channel. And it is no surprise that the love that you are getting from people. And I think that you can now relate to the kind of
Mm-hmm.
gratitude you feel when you get so many comments and so much of love from people, and I think you
Mm-hmm.
deserve all of it. So congratulations for for the wonderful things that are happening to you, and also keep doing the great work that you are doing. I don't get to see much as such because I cannot spare that much of time to watch content.
Mm-hmm.
I have stopped even scrolling through Instagram reels and all of that. I don't get that time as well. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever I come across anything that is related to you, at least the shorts, I try to stop and watch a few seconds, and I feel so proud and so glad. So good job
Thank you
on
so
that.
much. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. And it's so great of you. At least you watch my reels. You're taking some time just for the reels. That is also enough for me.
All right. So,
Mhm.
yes, tenses. Now, whenever we talk about tenses or past tense specifically, I 100% agree to the fact that past tense is a little more confusing than the other two tense. Future tense is the easiest. There's nothing that you need to think of and you need to apply and you need to remember as such. Present tense, what people get confused about is the usage, when to use and when not to. So once you understand that logic, present tense also becomes easy. When it comes to past tense, I also, to be honest, faced the same issues when I was back in school and I was learning grammar. Okay. It was really confusing if I look back to those days, right? So the first thing that I would say is, or where we all go wrong is, number one rule, we need to stop memorizing the rules. because the more you memorize the rules, whenever you want to speak, you will go back to the rules and you will try to fit them in your sentence, which is going to, at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, confuse you, and you're going to fumble, you're going to fluster, and you're going to mess up your sentence. So instead of the rule, what do you do? Instead of the rule, focus on the logics behind using past tense or any other tense for that matter. Once you understand the logic, once you understand and you pay a little attention, you become a little conscious, because most of the time what happens, I see the learners who are just beginning, they are not conscious. They're either busy translating or they're busy applying rules. So you're not in the moment, you are not paying attention to what is it that you want to say,
Mm-hmm.
right? So being more attentive and conscious towards what is it that you intend to say and then apply logic, that becomes easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I started doing that, things became easier for me. For that, what is it that you need to know? What is the logic? The logic is 80% of your past tense conversations can be covered with simple past tense.
Right.
But
That's a
what
big
people
relief.
try and do is they try to show off that, oh, I know past perfect, I know past
Mm-hmm.
perfect continuous. But what they do not understand is they are used for certain scenarios only. Other than that, past tense is good if you are talking about things that has happened in the past, one time
Mm-hmm.
activities done and dusted. You can use just simple past tense, right? That's
Right.
number one
Mm-hmm.
that you need to realize. Number two is understanding the scenarios where you use anything other than simple past. So when to use past continuous, when to use past perfect, and when to use past perfect continuous.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand the logic behind these three things, and if you are conscious while speaking, then past tense is not going to be difficult anymore. But again, understanding that is not the end goal. The end goal is understanding and practicing that regularly. So a lot of people think that, okay, today I am learning about past tense, and next time I speak or next time I get an opportunity to speak, I will be able to speak it fluently.
Mm-hmm.
Will that happen? No, because you learned a concept and then you shut your book and you get got on with life, right? What you have to do is, once you have learned, then you have to start thinking, you have to start speaking, you have to start writing. Very, very important and very underrated technique of improving your fluency, writing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
doing these things can definitely make mastering past tenses or any other tense easier and simpler for any learner who's out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, those are really great insights and such a big relief for beginners when you said that 80% can be covered with simple past itself. You know how I have improved my past tenses? Like when I started as a beginner, I was also confused. I told you as well that past tenses are such a nightmare, right?
Right.
But when I wanted to study it with grammar book or I wanted to just understand it, so I was just, making this thing even more worse for me. But
Ah,
then I started making my own sentences, like
mhm.
without even taking care of the tense I was using. It was in past tense, but not, I was not very particular about which tense I'm using in under the past tense head, right?
Correct.
But then I took help of ChatGPT later. So whatever sentences I was making, I was just checking whether I'm making it correct or not. So
Mm,
when ChatGPT was giving me that confirmation that yes, your sentence is correct, it makes sense, and it's correct in past tense, you can convey this particular idea in this particular format as well. So you feel
correct.
confident that you're already
Mhm.
using right tenses or you're already
Right.
speaking right English. So you need not to complicate things for yourself. So I guess
Absolutely.
that as ChatGPT worked as a guide for me, You can also get a tutor for yourself who could guide you that yes, you're saying it all right, you're speaking it
Correct.
all right. You need not to understand each and every tense under the
Hmm.
head of past tense to make it even more
Absolutely.
complicated.
Yes, absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
100% agree with that. And this is something that I keep telling all my learners as well, that whenever you are confused about past tense, the best way is pick up scenarios in your mind which are related to your past. It can be a vacation, it can be your wedding day, it can be your most memorable day, it can be just yesterday, it can be your, the day you got your first job. These are all memories in your mind which are very vivid, and you
Mm-hmm.
cherish those memories. Or there will be instances which you don't like at all about your past, right? Hurtful events, events that have made an impact on you, and just write a small paragraph about it. And after that, what I generally suggest, instead of chat gpt, because chat gpt is very prompt driven. So if your prompt somewhere, not everybody is giving the right prompt. So if your prompt is not right, chances are you will not get the right answer. And trust me, I have seen this so many times. I have asked chat gpt something and it has given me an answer, and then I have asked
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, don't you think this is incorrect, or here you are a little wrong? And then it is like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I completely overlooked it, sorry about that, and it has rebuilt that answer. So a more safer way to check grammar is using a tool like Grammarly or Quillbot for grammar check.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
Quillbot and Grammarly, both of these are specific to grammar and sentence construction, and they are free, so you don't need to worry about it. And it actually underlines everything in a sentence where you have gone wrong in red, and it suggests the right alternatives to it. So it becomes
Mm-hmm.
very easy for a learner to just understand and see how to rephrase and reframe your sentences, right? So
Mm-hmm.
using that can give you a lot of confidence. The way you gained confidence with chat gpt and framing your own sentences, this can be a very easy way for a lot of learners to work on their tenses and their sentence construction. But the
Right.
biggest problem is the drive or the effort that you have put in, or that I have put in to improve my language, or any other learner who is doing better or who is getting better with the language. There is no substitute to that drive and that effort. So there are
Mm-hmm.
people who just want to watch videos, listen to yours and my story, and they think that they are going to improve. But that's the harsh reality. You cannot improve like that. You have to do the things that they have done. So today, if you want to
Right.
become like Sunita, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot skip the hard work that Sunita has put in behind her success and her ability to master the language, right? So there is no
True.
substitute for that. That is something that people need to understand. And also experiment with your learning styles, because what has worked for Mopriya might not work for Sunita. What has worked for Sunita might not work for you, right? So being open to experimenting with your learning style. For me, like when I was learning, a lot of people told me you need to read newspapers, you need to read books, because back in the 90s or early 2000s, those were the concepts, that
Mm-hmm.
you need to do this to enhance your language. But for me, I realized in 2 days, I realized I can't read self-help books and you can win and this and that. It's not my cup of tea. I can't read them because I get utterly bored and my mind diverts in different directions. But the thing is completely different with fiction. If I have a book or a novel that I really am interested in and the story is gripping, I can finish it in one day. So I had to realize that for myself, not just because my uncles were telling me to read, you can win. I will go ahead and dump my face
Mm-hmm.
in it and I will read it the entire day. No, I had to realize it, that
Right. Right.
what they are finding interesting or what they are finding helpful might not work for me. So you also have to
Mm-hmm.
do that, experiment with your learning styles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apart from this, apart from writing, what else can you do? Be more attentive to whatever you are reading and whoever you are listening to. When I say listening to, again, a lot of people have this habit of constantly on repeat listening to conversation videos. And that too, there are very few trainers or very few proficient speakers out there who are making conversation videos. Most of the people are learners and amateurs, right? So when you are constantly listening to someone who is making mistakes while speaking, you are also picking up the mistakes knowingly or unknowingly. Plus, you are not diversifying your knowledge. So, one thing that people forget is fluency is not just about the language, it is also about your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless you diversify your knowledge, unless you explore more about different things, you will be stuck in one certain place. And then, whenever you are trying to express yourself, you will not have much thoughts. Right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
start diversifying and looking at speakers. Don't be afraid of looking at, international speakers, listening to international speakers. Most people very quickly give up. They're like, oh, I can't understand their accent. But challenge
Mm-hmm.
yourself. If you can't understand, that means there is a scope of learning, right? So push yourself. Try and listen, try and figure out. You can always lower the speed of YouTube, play it in a
Mm-hmm.
lower speed, but try to understand what they are saying, because when it is their native language, they are more comfortable with the language. So when somebody is comfortable, they are using better expressions, they are using better phrases, they are expressing things in a simpler term. So you can learn those and you can pick those up. And when you do that, you are automatically listening to tenses in the right form.
Right.
So, with constant listening to it in the right form, your brain will start picking up. So, you know how I realized it? In my time when I was confused with tenses, I would often, like if I'm watching a movie or if I'm listening to something or if I'm reading something, I used to read out loud sometimes some stories or something, right? And then when I would frame sentences in my mind or when I would speak to myself and I would see that, oh, this doesn't sound right. When I read it, it sounded a little different, but when I'm saying it, it's a little different. Why is that? And that's where I started correcting my own mistakes in terms of tenses. And that was one of the most helpful and one of the most impactful ways that really helped me with mastering tenses when speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the moment you are able to rectify that, okay, it doesn't sound right when I'm listening to this or when I'm saying this or when I'm writing this does not match with what I had heard or what I had written. So
Right.
the
Right.
moment you are able to do that, that means you're on the path of progressing, and then there is nothing that is going to stop you.
Mm-hmm. Right. But as an intermediate level speaker, you can check your sentences. You can have that instinct that yes, I'm saying something wrong or I doubt.
Yes.
So you can check it. But as a
Yeah.
beginner, those who don't even know how to frame sentences in past. So what would be your roadmap or what could be steps for them? Like what do they have to, start with?
They should definitely start with, so see, how treat yourself as a child. So when a baby is born, whichever language their mother tongue is, how do they learn the language? They don't learn it by reading grammar or doing anything else. How do they learn? Everybody in the home, they start speaking to the baby. So
Mm-hmm.
what the baby is learning, he's listening to the right form of sentences and he's picking up information and storing information in their mind like that. So for a beginner, that is the step. You start listening. You start listening to how people are framing their sentences. And don't do it without a roadmap or just pick anything randomly and start listening. No, start with stories. Like there are so many stories for kids. Start with stories for kids. because they are in the most simple language that you can find. They're interesting to listen to. And when you start listening, see if you are able to understand them, because listening and comprehension are the first step for a beginner to start learning. Once you listen, then start putting them in your own words. So ask generic questions to yourself. What do I like? What does my day look like? What do I do in a day? Start writing. You don't even have to speak like instantly. Start writing. See if you're able to write at least 1 or 2 lines,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then from there, start reading your own lines. Check, use Grammarly, see how you have written that sentence. Then slowly and steadily start reading simple content, very simple things, right? That will also tell you what is the right way to go about it. And from there, you start progressing. So, whichever level you are at, it can be a beginner, it can be. So, what do we call a beginner? Who is a beginner? A beginner is someone who at least knows the alphabet, who knows at least 100, 150 words in English, who knows the basic structuring of a sentence. Because if you don't know that, then you're not even a beginner. Then you need to start your learning from scratch, from alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are a beginner, you are not able to frame perfect sentences, and you cannot comprehend things properly, right? So start with that comprehension and reading and a little bit of writing. After that,
Mm-hmm.
take baby steps to speaking, right? So if you're
Right.
able to follow this one after the other, then things are going to be simple and easy. And the biggest problem with most of the learners, it doesn't matter which level they are at, the biggest problem is the kind of self doubt, hesitation, negative self talk, overburdening expectations on your own self. These things are the biggest issues that people face in their learning journey. So, when you are a learner, you have to be open. You have to treat yourself like you will treat another loved one. Don't criticize yourself. Let yourself make mistakes. It's okay. You're learning. A lot of people are very hard on themselves that, why do I keep making this mistake over and over? I can't do this. I can't do that. You have to stop doing all of that and be someone with a very open mind who can take in more, process more, and then put out the output.
Right. And that's the crux of communication. Like, it's not
Yes.
important to have a lot of knowledge or to know everything under the sun.
Yeah.
But whatever are your thoughts within your mind, you just need to
Yes.
express them. Right. And that's when
Absolutely.
you're done. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
very well,
Yes.
you have explained that you have to start with that listening practice, and storytelling or children related stories can definitely help you because those are
Yeah.
simplified, and then you see visuals as well, and you can relate
Right.
the subtitles, the speech with that of visuals, and you'll be easily able to understand all those things. And your ears will also get familiar with the sentences in past, right?
Yes.
And then you have to start speaking. Like we can also do this thing that we can start reading subtitles as well. The same story,
Yes.
you're listening first and
Absolutely.
then read the subtitles and
Right.
then speak about it, summarize that story in your own words. That would
Yes.
be great, right?
Correct.
And what
Also, you
about
can.
these verbs?
Mhm. I was
What
just
about
going to add
these
one last
verbs?
thing
Hmm.
there. Along with stories, you can also listen to videos where people are talking about their day-to-day life,
Hmm.
like daily routine, where people are talking about any past activity. Then you can also get a hang of how to frame sentences in past and present tense. So that can
Right.
be really helpful and really easy for you even before you. And
Hmm.
one more thing is a big no no, do not sit with a grammar book and start mugging up grammar rules, because that is not going to help you with your spoken English, right?
Hmm.
So that
Right.
is a big no no.
Hmm. And before starting making sentences in past, we need to learn verbs, right? The three forms of verb. Otherwise, how would we make sentences?
Yes, yes, that is definitely important. So, few things which are very important. I never say that you learn grammar rules, but understanding articles, understanding prepositions, understanding the three forms of verb, like what is the word called in present, what is the word called in past, and what is how is it used in the future. Knowing that
Mm-hmm.
is very important. And the other part of it is understanding the basic formation of subject verb agreement, because these are four topics. If you don't know how it works, then it can make your sentence, even if your tense is correct, it will make your sentence sound incorrect. So paying
Mm-hmm.
attention to
Right.
these few things, and these are very simple contexts, like you don't need to spend hours or days on them. If you are
Mm-hmm.
open and if you are ready to take in the information, you can understand these four topics in just 2 or 3 days. It doesn't take more than that.
Right. When I started, I was also making a lot of grammar mistakes. But then when I came to know about subject verb agreement and then articles, prepositions, I've corrected many of my mistakes in just
Right.
one class or one go, I would say. You
Right.
just need
Yeah.
to witness that thing. You just need to
Correct.
experience or just need to understand the concept once, and then you're good to
Exactly.
go.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So for verbs, what could be the reliable source to learn verbs?
Well, I feel there are plenty and plenty of information out there in text format, in video formats, in audio formats. So when I say reliable, I think if you are not on a channel which is absolutely from a novice, if you are, taking up information from at least sources who are trainers or who are educators, there are a lot of pages out there, and you will get enough and ample of information out there. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to follow just one or two people. I would say bring in variety, because the more educators you follow, and the best part is on YouTube you will find a lot of English teachers from foreign countries, especially US, UK. They put out very nice content in terms of basic words and sentences and all of that. So, if you can follow a little bit of them as well, it will be easier for you to, start picking up words and phrases and expressions from a very early stage of your learning. And basically, like, I have seen there are hundreds of PDFs also which are available, which gives you like 100 words, 200 words, 300 words with the three forms of grammar, with the three forms
Mm-hmm.
of verb. So
Wow.
the only thing is, do not sit down and mug up like you would do in school days. Just
Mm-hmm.
read through them, glance through them, because the moment you see something like, okay, in the present tense we say eat, in the past we say ate. So it's a very simple thing, and as adults it is easier for us to remember it than a child, right? That, okay, I heard this, eat is in the past, it is ate. So just
Mm-hmm.
logically talking to yourself about it can make this entire process quite simple.
Right. And you can get n number of list of three forms of verb, but you
Yes,
never know
yes,
when you're going to use them or not, right? But
correct.
I feel that what I do whenever I come across any new verb or something that I'm confused with, I would note it down and then I'll search its three forms and I try to make sentences. So
That's
these are
amazing.
some practical things to do. Right, you're
Yes,
already making sentences in that. You've already come
correct,
across a sentence using that verb. So
correct.
just try to dig deeper into it. Like the other
That's
day, I
being.
came across this
Mhm.
road. Like I was not aware of three forms of ride. So
Oh,
then I
okay.
searched
Yeah.
it,
Mm.
ride, road, ridden. And once I
Correct.
got the three forms, then I'm very
Mm.
comfortable using it in past and then framing questions or anything about it,
Absolutely.
anything around it, right? So you just
Yes.
need to research on that, right? So that
Being proactive,
curiosity you need to build.
yeah, is the
Mhm.
key. Being proactive. You need to understand. It's your learning, it's your self development, and unless and until you are up for it or you are ready to put in the effort, no one is coming to you
Hmm.
with a platter full of things that you can mug up, or there is no injection that can be, injected and you will know everything. That's not there. So that's why I said that, the hard work that Sunita has put in, you have to go through that to become Sunita,
Hmm.
right? So
Right, right.
that's the thing. Like, you can very well say that, okay, I have so many
Hmm.
subscribers, I am doing so well. What is the point? Why will I do any work for myself? That cannot happen. You still have to, if you
Hmm.
want to improve yourself. Even at this point, I do my daily listening, I do my daily, reading, and that is important. Otherwise,
Hmm.
you will become obsolete because you are not keeping yourself up to date with what is going on and what are the new concepts, because English as a language is very dynamic as well. It keeps on changing, right?
Right, right.
So we need to also be updated and upskilled
Hmm.
in terms of our language usage. Yeah.
So true, so true. So we have to keep ourselves updated. One more instant I want to share that I wanted to speak this sentence, right? That one idea strike my mind. Like I was saying this in past but wrong.
Hmm.
One idea strike my mind. So I wanted to say it right. So I
Hmm.
got the right form of it, that one idea struck my mind.
Struck
But
mind.
when it was time to speak that right, or when I got an opportunity again and again, that word was stuck to my tongue, right? Again and again,
Hmm.
I was saying it wrong. But then I said to myself, okay, next time I'll say it right. So you
Yeah.
need to make that conscious effort to get it right. Maybe not
Correct.
this time, but next time. So just
Correct.
keep doing it, you know?
Also,
Don't
a good
quit.
way there is also, every time that you're conscious that, okay, I again made that mistake, right? On that moment, just stop. No, I said it wrong. Let me reframe it.
Hmm.
Let me correct it.
Yes.
The moment you do that, your brain will automatically register that, and next time you will not make that mistake because you have stopped and you have corrected yourself. So that's also a
Hmm.
great way to go about it.
Right, right. Everybody makes mistakes, so it's okay,
Yes,
right?
I
You
make
need not to
mistake.
feel this.
Everyone does. Any native
Hmm.
speakers make the most mistakes while speaking, to be very
Hmm.
honest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yes, I've also
Okay.
picked some of them, but I feel so comfortable and confident when I see them making mistakes, right? So
Yeah.
why are we so after perfection?
Exactly. Exactly. All right.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
I think we had a great time, Sunita, and I really enjoyed catching up with you. I think we should do this more. Maybe at least one episode we should make for every month,
Mhm.
probably. It's always
Definitely,
so
I would
nice
be
to catch
beyond
up with
happy.
you. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
we
also
can.
feeling so fulfilled.
Ah, how sweet. All right. So, thank you so much for connecting today and for discussing
Mhm.
this very important topic. I was really, really happy to see you and, of course, have this discussion with you. And let us really plan and let us catch up again, next month,
Mhm.
and let us talk about something else.
Definitely, I'll be waiting for that.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you, Sunita. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourself.
Thank you, and same to you. Bye.
All
Take care.
right. Bye.